By the end of this video, my Honda Civic is going to be running on a standalone ECU. If you can remember, this car had been giving me a ton of wiring and starting problems over the summer. Hey, you mate? No! So what was the simple solution to that? Rip out all the wiring, take out the Honda and swap over to the FT550 from FuelTech. And in doing that, we painted the valve cover from red to this nice yellow. I added a cam trigger sensor there. We are scrapping the Skunk 2 Pro Series intake manifold and going up to the Skunk 2 Ultra Street manifold. And I also got this painted in yellow to match. I also found out that this car still had the stock lost motion assembly. I don't know how, because apparently that's rated for 300 horsepower, and anything beyond that can fail and blow up your whole motor. Like the failure is catastrophic apparently. So we upgraded it, now I don't have to worry about it anymore, but wow. As you can see, my SIR cluster's in the back seat. It's been taken out because I was gonna run this FT550 in the center with this bezel, but I think the screen is a little too small, so we've got this being custom made from Mako Motorsports and Powertune Digital, which is on the way to us right now. Now the reason that I wanted to switch to a standalone ECU from the Honda is because the wiring on this car, as I said, was a complete nightmare. I wanted to have it all redone, and if I'm gonna do that, I might as well swap it over to a better ECU that can better control, manage, have more features, and just keep the car running safer and happier with the power that it makes. Now I'm waiting for quite a few parts before we can continue with this project and get this car rewired. And unfortunately, the season is over, winter is coming. Now, I'm not gonna drive this car in the snow, obviously, but once we get this car running, I would still like to be able to take it out, have a little bit of fun, at least when the roads are dry and not salty and snowy. So I picked up this pretty ugly set of Winters. They're literally Steelies in a 15-inch. What's the actual size here? We got 185, 55, 15. If this car didn't get traction before, it is definitely not going to get any now. But I really got these wheels because on the days that I need to move this around outside, or even if I want to store the car in my garage, which is not heated, it's cold, apparently, at least with most 100 treadwear tires, these have to be stored in a warm climate. And if they sit in cold temperatures, even if you're not driving it, it can destroy the compound. Like it can permanently harden the tire, so you'll have less grip. Even when it gets warm again, they will not become as soft. Now, one of my big concerns is making sure that these Steelies are gonna fit over my Willwoods. So let's find out. Tell me this isn't the ultimate winter sleeper setup. We got the back one on as well. This is what the car is looking like from the side. I actually don't even hate it. I think it is so funny. Like I want to put proper nice tire like that on this rim and go drive around. It's not a sleeper, I know, because of everything going on here, but still, this is hilarious. We might just have to take this thing out drifting if it snows soon. All right, the next time I pick up this camera, I'm hoping we are a lot further along with this ECU process, so I'll see you guys then. My custom dash and digital display have arrived. Oh. These are like the cutouts for the turn signals. So there'll be lights there, and then one of them is for my handbrake, and the other one's for my high beam. Okay, so I made a shirt that was like a play on like analog clusters versus digital, like my M2 versus my Civic. Except now my Civic is a digital cluster. And it's like reject modernity. Oh my God, I can't speak. Am I actually brain dead? Reject modernity. Oh my God, I actually can't say the word. Nah, I'm lagging. I'm actually lagging. I'm glitching out right now.
Just use a different word.
No, but use a different word. It's on the shirt. Reject modernity. Oh my God, why I actually can't say it. Anyways, you guys get it. Embrace tradition. So out with the new, in with the old is what the idea was. I never released this shirt, maybe for good reason.
Yeah, they did a good ass job on this. It fits perfect.
Mako Motorsports.
Mako Motorsport.
Hit them up. And PowertuneDigital.com. Make sure to hit them up.
All right, sweet. Huge shout out to those two guys for working. I think they work hand in hand.
Yo, I just cracked the screen. There's no way I just did that. It might just be the film.
Where's it cracked?
No, it's not cracked. It's just the film.
No, it's just the film.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're gonna try to start this up, but it's gonna be black screen.
Let's check right now, actually.
Holy. 3 weeks for this part, and Victor broke it in 5 seconds. Oh yeah,
okay,
please wait, booting. Oh my God.
Oh my. Nah, that was. Yo! Okay, yo, I actually got scared. Oh my God, I thought I broke it. I would have to get him another one. You have to wait another 3 weeks.
Because they're all custom made. Dude, it actually looks so cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that looks crazy.
Sorry to skip ahead a bit. I didn't film a lot of the work because most of it is pretty boring stuff, just wiring and more wiring all over the place. Car was a mess. But what you're about to see is the first time the car is being cranked over in just over 2 months. Oh my God. Oh my God. We have life. I'm not gonna leave you, okay? I'm staying with you, I promise. So because we upgraded to the Ultra Street intake manifold, you'll see here that the intercooler piping does not line up the same because the throttle body sits at a different angle and the manifold itself sits a little bit lower. So we're currently welding this piece to connect. Okay, while Ryan finishes up some of the welding, I figured I'd show you guys some of the cars that he has on his property. I think most are customers, but some of them are his. They are all pretty cool. I didn't even know what this was. I have to go to the back of it. It's an old Corolla. God damn, this body is fire. We got an EK Coupe. I think this is probably just like a parts car or something. This one's on air suspension. He does do some Subaru stuff as well, so you got a couple of those laying out here. Good old Datsun. This thing is sick too, a little F350. I don't know if he uses this as like a workhorse or something, but we also got the twin stack out the back. I don't know if that's what it's called. Eagen Motorsports. This thing is sweet too, Integra RS. Got my 340 here. This might be the only time a BMW has been on his property. I don't think he does too much German stuff. Some more builds out back here, dude. This property is just amazing for this kind of life. Mustang in-ground all-wheel drive dyno is in there. We'll check it out in a little bit. And just like that, the intercooler is now welded. We actually flipped it around, so the blow-off valve used to sit over there, but this corner piece is all welded up. We're good to go. Is it on fire? We had a little bit of an oopsie, as you can see. A lot of oil pissed out because something wasn't tightened at the back of the motor. Before we get this car in the dyno and do all the fun tuning, we got to do the boring, basic tuning. This is just getting this thing idling healthy and a clean base file to start at. As you can tell, this already sounds way better than when we had it running at my shop, so we're making progress. Okay, it's the next day. We're back with the car. We're about to get this thing loaded on the dyno. We're just bleeding some coolant, letting it run. Let me show you guys the current setup that I have for the Powertune dash. This car idles so loud, so I don't know if you can hear me, but there's the default screen. You can see the RPMs are moving. We got the AFR in the bottom left, intake, air temp, boost. The rest of the stuff still needs to be set up, but this is what it's gonna look like. You've got the speed 2 right there, digital speed display. This thing looks so cool though. We're on the way to the dyno. Oh my gosh, this car hasn't driven in over 2 months. And we got the snow tires going crazy. It's gonna be kind of hard to hear me in here, but definitely not your typical dyno setup. Okay, well, things were going smooth, but unfortunately we are going to stop today because it's kind of hard for you to see, but that line right there is actually a crack in my manifold.
All of them cracked.
So he's gonna have to pull the car back out and reinforce it, re-weld it. So unfortunate. But we're also having a little bit of connectivity and sensor issues, not reading 100% correct. So again, this was a huge job that we did by rewiring the entire car, going on a standalone, then trying to come to the dyno. Obviously, it's not gonna be done and all gone in one smooth shot. I know obviously things are gonna come up. We've had a lot of hiccups with the whole job already, so I can't expect to get this all done in one go. Is what it is. I thought I was gonna drive the car home today, but I don't have an issue with waiting and getting it done right, making sure everything's working properly. But I'll see you guys back when everything has been sorted out.
2 days later.
God damn, that is so loud. We're back at Eagen Motorsports, getting this thing on the dyno, getting it running. All the sensors are working, manifolds been re-welded. Let's make some power. That first pull, we had 245 wheel, but no VTEC. So VTEC came on there and we gained about 40 horsepower. You can see the numbers are slowly moving up. God damn, that one scared me. 348, we're climbing. This is so fun to watch. I don't know if I said this yet, but we are tuning for 93 octane, not 94. The car made 476 wheel before on 94 octane and on a hub dyno. So the numbers were pumped up a little bit, I guess. Right now, Mustang dyno, they always read a little bit lower. They're the most accurate. And we turn the octane down. So I don't know what I'm expecting here. I'm gonna say maybe like 440 wheel I'll be happy with. That one made 411 wheel at 15 pounds of boost. I am going so deaf. 449 wheel horsepower. Not even like 30 minutes ago, I think, we made 245 and we just almost doubled it. What are Hondas, dude? This thing is making power way too easy. It actually feels so ghetto tuning this on the winter Steelies. They're 185s. I feel like the car's about to fly off the dyno. That's why when the pulls start, I go high to the front because if they fly off, I'm not getting taken down by a Civic winter tire. I think we're done with the tuning. That was the final run. The numbers we're leaving off with are 465 and 332 to the wheel. More than what I was expecting. Again, I want to come back when I bring some ethanol and then we'll actually try to make some decent power, but I got to upgrade my clutch still before we go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to actually need like a proper tire setup because I don't think my Nankangs are going to do too much here. All right, we're good to go. I haven't driven this car in about 3 months, so we'll see if I can still get it moving. We got some snow, so we're gonna be putting these tires to use, but let's see if I can get back to the shop and I'll see you guys in a little bit. I don't know if you can hear me, but this is so cool to watch the numbers move like this on the dash. I feel like I'm playing a video game. So we've made it back in one piece. The car's all wet because I just washed off all the salt. The body is actually super clean on this thing. There's pretty much no rust anywhere, so I don't want to...
What's all this rust right here?
No, there's no rust right there, thank you. I don't think at any point in this car's life it was driven in the snow or salt, so maybe I'm the bad first owner for doing that, but I want to show you guys back here. Mind this, I still need to clean up the old meth setup. We're taking it out of this thing because we're going to probably put this in my 340, but here we have my new battery location with this cool custom little enclosure. The interior is still a pretty big mess. Lots of wiring that needs to be tucked and put away. This is all the old trim that still has to go back in. You can kind of see the heart of the car now, my ECU. Kind of just sits right here, but the idea is when we put the armrest compartment back in, it'll mount like that. So I'll just pop it up and then I can kind of touch and look at it from there. That's how it would sit. And currently we can't start the car with a key. So the only way to start it, click there. We got some settings, some modes here. Click the green one. and then you would click crank right there, and then you click start. So that's how the car would start right now. So technically, I got a push to start Civic now. But now I want to show you guys more of the customization side of the Powertune Digital dash screen and what my current setup is. We got the Nano Pro that reads there, so my AFRs, but you can also change it to whatever you want. So my current setup, this is one of just the default dashes, but we still have my coolant temp here, oil temp sensor I don't actually have set up, oil pressure, that all works, your intake temp, boost, your AFR, fuel pressure, and then this is obviously all digital and it reads your RPM there. This is supposed to be your speed. I don't think my wheel speed sensor has been set up with the FuelTech yet either. You swipe over, this is one of the other default screens that you can run. This is like your lap timer, I think it's called. It's pretty cool. You get all your stuff there on the left side, 0 to 100, quarter mile, all that stuff. And oh yeah, I mean, you have like your staging tree, which is pretty cool. So you go, well, I guess it's not gonna activate right now, but oh yeah, there it is, yeah. On green. That's pretty cool. So if you're not actually at a track, you can still run it properly like that. This is another default setting. So I guess if you're at like a specific circuit or track, you can set it up here. And then this section is where all your customization and settings will be. This one, you can customize your shift lights. All your metrics are here. And then if you come back to your actual dash, you can double tap and you have more customization here. So if you want to change the colors in the background, you can actually import and load in custom images. I think there's websites online where you can go and actually buy like pre-made dash setups. So if you want like a Mortal Kombat background, I'll put that on the screen here. Different video games, even like SpongeBob SquarePants theme. There's a ton of different ones you can set up. You can move around where these numbers show. You can move around different gauges. It's all fully at your own taste. This red button here was supposed to be my anti-lag, or it will be, but we're not going to tune for it right now because I think there's an issue with this switch or maybe the wiring setup. It's kind of like tricking the system into acting like anti-lag is always activated, and I obviously don't want that. So I'm gonna have to buy a new switch to get that swapped out. But when I do that, I'll literally just be able to hold this down and anti-lag will start. Tuner came by to clean up the fueling a little bit on the drivability because it was a little boggy on the way back, and we're also adding in the two-step. Man, that sounds so good. So what RPM is that set to?
It's at 49.
49, yeah. I know before it was at 60 something.
It's a little bit high.
Yeah.
They'll boost here anyways. So.
No, yeah, it doesn't need to be, yeah. Oh my God. I think that's gonna be it for this video. I'm sorry I don't have more driving clips of the car. I mean, I can't really do too much in the snow. This is the winter car, okay? At least we got some fun dyno stuff. I wanna give a huge thanks to Powertune Digital, Mako Motorsport, Eagen Motorsport, and Shan Built for getting this car done. For now, we're gonna have to wait until it gets warmer out to fully enjoy this thing, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.